Hello, good morning, Dr. Lisa.
Good morning. Well, afternoon now here.
Hello, hello, can you hear me?
Right?
Okay, now I cannot hear you.
We're
Okay.
here. We hear you.
Say something.
Yeah, my regular microphone is not working.
I got you now.
Yeah, it's on an alternative microphone. I'm not sure what's going on with my name.
Well, we hear you. Good morning, good afternoon. Hi, Jackie. How are you? It's great to see your face. I miss you. Well, let's get the party started. I'm not sure where Rita is. I hadn't seen her this morning yet. If you don't mind, Virgil, I'll make you co-host. We'll get this party started because we are live on YouTube. And hey, TGIM. It's my favorite day of the week. Today is, I trust you're paying attention. It's week eight. Week eight. So what does that mean? Well, we're almost 2 months into the year already. Don't let not another day, another moment, another year go by without doing something good in your life. Right? So we meet here every Monday. If you're watching us live on YouTube, you can join us live by going to live.thelosttransition.com. Hi, Dorea. Appreciate you popping in. And we meet every Monday. We share some wins of what's going on there in the world with everybody that shows up to our presentation and our meeting. We have some slides that we share, have a little conversational and educational piece. For those of you that are following along, we've got a 52-week series that's already been planned out. And this week we're going to end the first part of the series and start moving into the next portion of the series. So I'm glad that you all made it here live. And if you're watching on the replay, make sure that you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. This way you get notified whenever we go live. That being said, I hope you guys have some wins. You guys stack up some wins at all? Yes? Give me a thumbs up or something. I hope you guys got some wins because we're going to
I
share.
have a share.
All right, sweet. We're going to share some wins and then share these slides, open it up for a mastermind. Go ahead, Dr. Lisa. Please start us off. Thank you.
Okay, so normally I would get in here and tell you I'm creating something, doing something, building something. Well, I'm launching something uh, Monday through Friday this week. Coach
Yeah,
Judy and I are going live on my Zoom to launch the executive energy audit.
nice.
And I'm also in unstoppable mode because I've been building this on the Groove Scale platform and
Okay.
I ran into blocks. And so I said, well, let me just build it on Now Site. So I built a funnel on Now Site. And I found out, I don't know, did you get my email, Virgil? I found out that Now Site no longer does automatic email campaigns.
Yes, this is correct.
So I'm that's my next workaround, but I'm I'm
I'm
moving
I'm
forward.
working on something for that at the moment.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's part of the
So,
transition.
yep. But I thought Virgil, you'd be particularly happy to hear that I'm launching.
Yes, that's amazing. Good job, girl. So you launched today?
Yeah, tonight's the first one,
Awesome.
and even with the Now Site funnel, I had someone this morning. She reached out to me. She's like, I need help with my health. I said, well, here's a great place to start. And I sent her the link for the capture page. And she's like, well, it just sent me to
Microphone
this
check,
other
microphone check.
place. We hear you.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't sure.
Yep.
Congrats for the launch. I was trying to come through with that. Ooh,
Yeah.
yippee-ki-yay.
So the
Okay.
links didn't work on either page the way they worked for me. They didn't work for her the way they work for me. So I got to figure that out. But still doing it. So I just
That's
sent
right.
her the raw links rather
Well, that's
than
an important thing that you actually set the date and you're moving forward and doing it, and that's the best part. So congratulations, my friend. And
thank you.
as you do it, you'll learn, fall forward, as they say. You'll figure it out. You'll say, "Oh, well, this doesn't work, but this does." So congratulations. Oh, I got goosebumps on that.
Thank you.
Good job. Congratulations, Dr. Lisa. Thank you for sharing. Looking forward to hearing more results. And welcome, Rita. Hello. Good morning. Hi, Michelle. Pleasure to see both of you ladies. Anybody else got some wins that they want to share?
I'll share. I'll go ahead. Consistency, as
Go
always.
for
I
it.
mean,
Go for it.
it has been a busy week for me. Things have been moving and changing a little bit, and staying on track on what I'm trying to execute, what I'm trying to roll out. Like I said, balancing out these lab times and these outings definitely have been a challenge, but so far I'm holding the road, so I'm very happy with that. And yes, it was quite a world changer when I heard the news, but you know what pinged it in my mind right after? It was, you know what? Uh, Comfort. We're getting into a discomfort zone with what is happening with now site. So it's also an opportunity to grow, right? And it forced me to look into different direction, and I'll try to share that tomorrow. So, um, staying consistent, rebounding against adversity, that was my win. That challenge, that mindset. Yeah.
Good, good, and congratulations. And I hear you. And I was already along the same lines of thinking it was somebody that was in my downline that approached me and told me about that. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Went and looked, and I was like, oh, I can't believe it. So I'm not going to sit here and talk bad about the company. I'm not going to say anything negative. I will just say that um, I did send a strongly worded message to support. I will say that much. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So, in times like that and adversity, you have to do that. You have to just rebound, figure out, okay, well, what are we going to do instead? So, I mentioned, yes, I'm working on something, the lost transition period.com. I got to figure that out. Um, Other than that, obviously, there's other, uh, what do you want to call them? I guess autoresponders that you can pick up. I'm not going to recommend any one particular right at the moment. I'm more so inclined to like develop and create off of my own website and send my own emails to my own people so that I don't have to ever worry about that again. So that's the transition that I'm working on. But yes, thank you for sharing, Virgil. And we'll definitely have to put our heads together and make sure we come up with some kind of solution for everyone. So thank you for sharing. Appreciate you being here, brother. Who else has some wins to share?
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning,
Or after
girlfriend. How
or
you doing?
afternoon for some of y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was getting ready to start our campaign for our um our meet and greet for veterans, and with the email campaign that I'm just not learning. But
Uh-oh.
it's all good. So on another note, I guess it's a more personal note. I have a new 17-year-old,
Okay.
and she has decided she wanted to do long-term care with in nursing. And so, and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I think we have a cousin that's in there. So we were able this weekend to, which she was 2 hours away, and we were able to meet up with her. And so she's my cousin. She's my second cousin. She's 29 years old, and in less than 10 years, she changed her career. From She realized college wasn't for her. She went to LPN school, then RN. Now she's getting her doctorate. Um, During that same time, she got married and has three kids, five, 3, and 10 months.
and she owns a CNA school. And so, yeah, so I was able to bring our 17-year-old up there, let her ask questions and tour her school, and was able to talk with her, my cousin, and she had a bunch of government funding, but then when Doge happened, she lost a lot, and this is the first time she's never had to market. So I'm sitting there just like, oh, okay, just like and she's in a big city, and she's from the same small town we live in, and I was able to look into that and told her how I, worked with veterans. And so, and with, a lot of businesses are like that. They know what they're doing. They know their technical stuff. They just don't know how to market themselves. They don't know how to position themselves.
This is correct.
And it's funny too because I've had a bunch of random jobs at HR, and with human resources you can work for almost every industry. And I actually worked for a company called Prometric, which is a proctor company, who when you have a CNA school, you need an independent nurse to come in and facilitate the test for them to get certified. And so I actually, when I was living in Baltimore, I was actually hired nurses all over the United States to be able to go to different facilities across the United States to proctor to help people with their certifications at the place kind of places where my cousin has her school. So
Wow.
it was just really interesting how these, as we're talking, this is the first time I'm talking to her as an adult because I remember her as a baby, as a kid. And it
Sure.
was just amazing to see, the growth that she has. And then
Right.
to have the 17-year-old have um, some real life experience with someone who is not, in their senior ages, who's still in the cusp of it, and to get advice and to get a career path and stuff like that. So I think that was a huge win, personally for our family. And it got the
Absolutely.
12-year-old actually thinking like, huh, and it was funny. She went to chat GTP, what would I be good at?
Oh, really? There you go. That's
So,
the beauty of it, right? Get the young
yeah.
ones thinking and teach them early. Read is all about that, right?
Yes, yes,
Well,
yes.
congratulations, girl. Like, I
Yeah.
love that. A couple of things that you said that popped into my head is your network is your net worth, right? It's nice that you were able to tap into that and then tap into your prior experience and then pull that out and say, oh, wait, let's put this dot together with this dot. So, yeah. That's networking. Oh, it just gives me goosebumps. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I
And
mean,
then,
that's what I explained last week, and that's when I realized, I'm a connector. It's like I have all these random people I know, these random business ideas people have, and it's just like, it's like at the time you don't think it's relevant, but I've learned, especially coming out of the military, how to listen and how to really like before, if it had nothing to do with me, it was like, okay, why am I even here? It's not, this got nothing to do with me. But learning how to sit and listen and here's people's stories and why they do things, I found that has been a wonderful asset to have.
amen.
And things that I don't think that is very relevant end up being something that is needed later on. So yeah.
Amen. And that will serve you well. And you're going to love today what we're going to talk about because it all coincides, man. And I love the growth and all the things that you come and share with us. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And congratulations. And then another thing I wanted to mention when Virgil was talking about, you said a word, and I wrote something down but forgot to mention it. I like the way you said balancing. Isn't it great that you can balance instead of what a lot of people here say juggling? So here's a little gold nugget for you. If you hear somebody as you're having the conversation with you say, well, I'm juggling a bunch of things, that should be your key to say, oh, well, maybe we should have a conversation about balance versus juggling. So just a little sprinkle some gold fairy dust there on you guys. Anyone else have some shares, some wins that they want to share? Jackie, how you been? We missed you. Rita, Michelle, anyone?
I've been, oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go
No,
ahead.
I've been good. I've been talking up a storm. Um, uh, just uh, just trying to manage my time properly so that I don't get burned out. Um, in fact, I found myself joining so many different groups, and it's become ridiculous. So I'm scaling back because there's only so many conversations I can have.
Right.
I mean, even though I still stick to the rule, but I think I've been going overboard, just doing a bit too much talking to the point where um, I'm not even sure if I was making sense anymore. You know? So it's just about structure, really, just structuring my time properly. But it's been good.
Good, good. Well, I want to remind you, you are the captain of the ship, my friend. Right?
Yeah,
So
thank
you
you.
designate what goes on and what goes down, and you lay down the law, and everything else will follow.
Yeah, yeah.
It's great to see you. I missed your face.
Thank you. I'm back for good.
Yay! Rita,
It's just,
Michelle, Rita or
yeah.
Michelle, do you have anything, any wins you want to share?
Of course.
Of course.
Hi,
Can't see you do
everybody.
your dance though.
I know, right? That I probably will scare everybody off the call. Well, if you only need
Are
my
you
face,
still in bed?
I'm not sharing that info at this moment. When you don't see me, that's a great guess. Um, all right, so I've come to the end of the introduction of the Munchkins, and the next thing is to do a presentation. I was going to use the emailer to email to the numerous contacts that I have. So that's not going to happen. Not that way anyway. And
Yeah.
so I have to pivot, but that's okay. That I can find a workaround with that. If that's the case, then the next step would be the presentation. So working on the presentation. I have one already. I have a couple of them actually. One of them consists of using different people that are experts in the three areas that we talk about as kids, for the credibility's sake, and the other is just having the Munchkins do it. So I probably will do both so that it doesn't sound like it's just coming from me. But it's a good thing. And the other part of that is, as I was this weekend Saturday, I was a asked. This is the fifth year that I've done it, and asked to speak to educators from Ohio and in Palm Beach County in Florida, and it had to do with making a presentation, i.e., using Toastmaster skills to present a research-based project that they have for 10 minutes. So it was a good opportunity for me, but what I loved the most were the questions at the end. So they had questions related to my bio and related to, fears in public speaking, which is the number one fear that people have. So gave them a lot of information regarding that, answered all their questions. But I think the one that stumped me the most, which I was not expecting, but I answered with different strategies. But because the person said they had tried all of those before, my final point was, don't forget that just because of the things that you're doing, you do not see immediately. If you compare a lima bean and a bamboo tree, that the gestation period takes a lot longer. So even though you're watering that bamboo tree, it does not come into fruition and start coming out of the ground until 7 years later. where in a lima bean, you add water every day. You see some kind of progress. So just because you're pouring into a child does not mean that they're not absorbing that right
Right.
then. You just want to see it now. And so that was the one that was the most challenging question, but um, I did fine. I had lots of fun. I made them laugh. They got to know me, and so even through the craziness, and it was a lot of it was a lot of fun. So that's my big win
Uh,
for the weekend.
Conversations after as well?
No, they only gave me an hour.
Okay. It was all, was it virtual?
Yes,
Okay. Gotcha.
yeah. And they have my information, so if they want to reach out, they can.
Oh,
When
cool.
always invite me to
Nice.
listen to what they shared, because I told them, I said, truth be told, I can tell you to do a lot of things, but what I found is you don't do them. So I said, teachers are your worst offenders. You just don't do them. So I said,
Right.
yeah. I said, so just, I broke it down to just have fun.
Yeah.
Don't worry about, your audience. Use the name calling technique. Like if you've got a bunch of people, just to get their attention. And everybody loves to hear their names. So as you're making a presentation, call the names and know your material. As long as you know your material, you're the expert. Nobody can correct you. And then, don't just let everything else flow. So it was a good conversation, and questions and
Oh,
fears
great.
that they had, I was able to answer.
Good job. Congratulations, my friend. Sounds like it went very well.
It
Kudos,
did.
girl.
It was too,
Kudos.
it was too short.
It was too short.
You would have been proud of your girl. I was thinking, make him smile, create that relationship. Because I was telling him, I used my bell, and I started with the same thing I do on Facebook. Oh, school's in, school's out, but I'm in. And it was so funny. I said, some of you may not know what this bell is and what it represents way back in the day, like maybe 50 years ago. And so they used to have the school bell that they were ringing. I said, now they sound
Right.
like doorbells. So I saw some people shaking their head and some people laughing and smiling. So, but all in all, it was really, really good.
I love
And
the fact that you brought the bell in. I didn't know that.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. And I wanted to say also, shout out to Virgil and Dorea. Yes, Dorea, you are a connector. Dorea has more gold in her little pinky finger, and she's so amazed at when things happen, but it should be expected
Yes.
because
Look at
of who
that
she
smile.
is. Yeah, she hasn't figured that part out yet, but
Yeah.
yup.
Well, congrats and thank you for sharing that. I love it.
You're
Michelle,
welcome,
did you have
AJ.
anything that you want to share or no? You don't have to. Not going to be forced to, but hello and glad you're here.
Hi, I'm finally kicking my sinus infection. That's what I have to share.
Yay. That's a win. Well, thank you for being here, my friend. I appreciate you. So, a couple of quick wins for me. I'm happy to announce the main website, robertblakely.com, is done. Yeah.
Woohoo.
Got that done. Actually had somebody come through it from last weekend. I don't know if I had mentioned that or not. I don't think I did. Um, did I? Okay, cool. Yeah, it was kind of neat. I didn't even have it finished. We did last Monday Mastermind with our special guest, Anil Gupta, which went really well. The the views were probably 4 to 5 times more than what we normally get. So shout out to our friend Anil Gupta for joining us. It was a great experience. New team project just announced yesterday. Got some people who are going to be doing some precious metals. Just with the way the economy is going and all that, I need to get focused back into the precious metals. So we're going to be doing that and more accomplished in the lost transition. I will be doing everything that I can to create a solution to the problem that we're all facing if we're with Nowsite. The biggest problem that I've figured out so far, because I've already been focused on trying to solve that, is what's called an OAuth or O authorization from Google so that you log in, click click your Google account and authorize so that it sends out on your behalf. So if I can get past that, the quicker that I can do that, the quicker I can have that done. So looking forward to that. So that's my wins. Let's get into some diving sharing. Thank you for the claps there. I appreciate that. I'm excited. Again, if you're not paying attention, it is week eight. Week eight. Like, ah, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I remember when we first started airing this show, if you want to call it a show, on YouTube, and we counted down the entire year. So remember that? Anybody? We're week eight. Week eight. That means time is flying by. So if you're not doing something every day or something every week or yearly to better your situation, you probably should be. So I want to talk to you today and kind of tune in something that's super duper important. And some people talk about it, but I don't think it's talked about enough. And we're going to talk about gratitude as a business strategy. We talk about gratitude all the time, right? But have we talked about how we use it as a business strategy? I don't think so. So we're going to do that today. We're going to talk about how thankfulness actually transforms a lot of your results. Part of why I wanted to do this too, when I sit back and think about these 52 weeks that we planned out, right, was when we first started the whole concept, right, is to help people go from that whole job thing to having their own time freedom, launching their own businesses, doing their own thing, getting their time freedom, right? But we don't talk enough about how most times when people come into something, their mindset is the wrong way. They're coming from a different place. Many times they're coming from an environment of, oh my God, I need to make a change, or, a drastic something has happened in their life and they have to find a solution to that problem, as an example, right? But we're going to talk about how gratitude can be used as a business strategy so that things can grow in your life, right? So it's actually a hidden competitive advantage, I'd like to call it that. So here's my question to you. What if I told you there's a free tool that increases sales, builds loyalty, and attracts success? What would you think? Like, oh, Rob, are you crazy? Right? I say that because most entrepreneurs are just so focused on getting more leads, more sales, more followers, that they forgot to appreciate what they already have, and that lack of gratitude is costing them. To go back to what I was talking about at the very beginning with the whole mindset thing, we've been teaching since the very beginning, if you will, for over 4 years to say that you can make more money online than anywhere else if you come from a place of not only gratitude, but also understanding that you'll get more by solving people's problems versus trying to sell something to them. Because if you don't know, people love to buy, but they don't want to be sold, right? I'm sure we can all agree on that. Raise your hand or give me a one in the chat area there, right? But there's that other side of things that comes with it, which is gratitude. We've talked about that before too, right? I talk about, shoot, I jump out of bed every morning and say, thank you, Lord, for another day of life to do with as you see fit. Amen. All right. Today you're going to learn how to use it as a business weapon. Might not have thought of this before, but here's the science of gratitude so that you guys fully comprehend what we're talking about, especially for those of you out there in YouTube land. And here's the key thing and why it's number one on the list. The science of gratitude will literally rewire your brain for success. Now, the top one on the left, you see there, it says it releases dopamine, right? Everybody see that? The feel-good chemical that motivates action and builds habits. Do you know that that's why we're on Facebook? Anybody know that? Raise your hand, yes. Do you know that's why we do what we do? Do you know that that's tied into the feelings that we have? We do everything for a feeling, right? We want to be very clear. So it's all about those dopamine hits, believe it or not, right? So you can release dopamine in a big way by having gratitude. When you have gratitude, also it reduces cortisol, lower stress by 23%, calmer mind, better decisions. You know, we mentioned a word to Virgil. The word is called balance, balancing, but balance, the root of balancing is balance, right? So gratitude to me is part of having balance. If you have balance in your life, you know, I was not to bounce back and forth too much like the roller coaster that I can be. I was having a conversation yesterday with Diane, my wife, and we were talking about some people that had a bunch of drama in their life. And I'm like, oh, it was my wife and my friend Abel. And it was just like, yeah, we don't do the drama thing. So we try to have balance because it reduces the dopamine and it reduces cortisol. It lowers my stress by 23%. I don't freak out. I don't want to pull my hair out that I don't have, right? I'm not saying I just let it go, right? There's things that you need to be aware of, my favorite word, right? But when you have that gratitude, it's also going to activate the front prefrontal cortex. This is the part of your brain responsible for planning and problem solving, right? This is very important for people that aren't very good at problem solving and or maybe having um, time management issues, believe it or not, right? And then fourth, it builds natural pathways. So the more that you practice that gratitude, the more automatic positive thinking becomes. I've mentioned this before, you know, just blatantly honest. There's so much programming that goes on from the time that we're children to the time that we're adults to where you literally have to reprogram yourself, whether that's self-programming or whether that's self-programmed through other people helping you program, whether it's the words through my mouth as an example, right? Or whether it's the things that you tell yourself every day. If you practice that gratitude, it also helps build those neural pathways. And then things just become natural. So where you're automatically grateful for things, right? So the bottom line is grateful people aren't just happier, they're more productive. I know I got a ton of stuff done last week. Tons of stuff done. We're more resilient, more attractive to work with. That's not a hoo-hoo. That's neuroscience, my friends. And yes, no, I apologize. I didn't get to shave because I was so busy. Otherwise, I'd look even more attractive. Here's the gratitude gap. Okay, why most entrepreneurs struggle with thankfulness. Most people, as I kind of mentioned to begin with, come from the scarcity mindset, right? Oh, be grateful when I hit my goal. I've heard that before. It's like, what are you talking about? What I have isn't enough yet. So this is interesting when I read this too, which is a good thought to have. Well, what I have isn't enough yet, but before you can have anything else, you have to be grateful for what you have, right? We've all heard that before. And then some people might think that celebrating is premature. Another scarcity mindset is I need more before I can feel good. And end result, what happens? They're never satisfied. So what are they doing? They're always chasing. They're always looking for that next thing, the shiny object or whatever the case may be. But if you have an abundant mindset, then it's more so geared towards that right side of the panel there. I'm personally grateful where I am now. I'm grateful for right now, the breath that I take, the internet that I have, the lights that I have, the friends that I have here in this Monday mastermind, my hands, my feet, my clothes. There's so much to be abundant and grateful for. Right? What I have is a foundation to build on. It wasn't always like this, right? I really wasn't. I mean, I was myself and all wiry and wanted to learn and, teach and do all those things. But I just, personally, I feel I've gotten better over time, right? And here on the third one, every win deserves recognition. I want you to understand one of the things that one of my mentors taught me, and maybe this might be a little gold nugget for you. Said celebrate other people's wins as if they were yours. Write that down if you need to. Like when I see somebody that is in our business, as an example, they're in Facebook, they're in the group. Hey, somebody just brought somebody into the business or somebody just ranked up in the business. Hey, congratulations. Yes, let's party. I like to use one of my favorite gifts where it's the girl taking the cake and smashing it on the ground, just so that I can do a state change, make people laugh, those kind of fun things. But look, gratitude doesn't mean settling, okay? It means building from a place of strength, not from despair. So have more gratitude. Here's the framework I'm giving you guys. Write it down if you need to. Take a snapshot. We're calling it the gift framework. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love this. GIFT. It's just a daily practice. Takes about 5 minutes a day, if that. All right. So what happens? The G is for ground. Start your day by naming 3 things that you're grateful for. Right now, not someday. Write it down as we're talking, as you're listening to me. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for. Okay? Be as specific as you can. And then the I is for identify. Identify one person who helped you recently, a customer, team member, mentor, friend. I can't say enough about my online wife, Rita Pinder. Can't say enough about that woman. She's so amazing. I thank God every day that she's in my life. Identify one person. For the F, feel. Don't just think about it, feel it. Close your eyes. Let the gratitude sink in. Ooh, get the goosebumps in you, baby. Right there. That activated my brain. That activates your brain. The endorphins kicked in. The dopamine just hit. Woo! Let's go. Did you see that? Did you see how that just happened? In real time, real life? You can motivate yourself like that in an instant. What's the T? Thank. Send one message of genuine appreciation. Text, email, handwritten code, video, audio, something. Thank them. That's it. Man, thank you. Hey, that thing, that post you put out, that, you know, the thing you did, whatever it is that you did, that thing you did, thank you. That's the gift framework, or gift from the lost transition to you. Ground, identify, feel, thank you. Gratitude in action, you just saw it. How about that? I didn't plan it, it just happened. But here's some practical ways to use thankfulness in your business. Thank you. We just said that. Follow-ups. Thank you, follow-ups. After every sale, send a personal thank you within 24 hours. Handwritten beats email. Email beats nothing. But I want you to think about a few things because you know the psychology that I like to leave behind with everything. The best thing that I can say at this point in time, and I've said it before, after every purchase, you need to make sure that the customer, if you want to call them a customer, the friend, the person that joined your business or took that purchase, feels good about the purchase. Because psychologically, a lot of people, you have that 3-day resend in most cases to where people can change their mind, especially if it's in a contract format, right? So make them feel good about what they just did. I do want to go back to the forbidden words if you don't know what I'm talking about. Do what you can to avoid thank you. I'll say thanks for your trust. Works very well. Works like gangbusters. right? Thanks for your trust. I appreciate your trust in me and what you purchased, what you bought, what you did. Win of the week each day, end each week by writing down your biggest win, no matter how small. This trains your brain to spot success. You know what else it does? It gets you ready for Monday Mastermind, baby. Right? This way you're all ready to rock and roll for every Monday. Come in here, we talk about it, we get the wins, we keep that gratitude, we keep everything flowing. As I mentioned, this is just the ending portion of the first part of the 52-week series that we have already planned out. So I trust that you will stick around and keep tuning in. Gratitude before calls. Before any sales call, list 3 things that you appreciate about that prospect. It changes your energy level. Oh, didn't move that one. Sorry. They feel better about those, about the connection. And that just goes to make me think about something to say. And if there's not 3 things that you can appreciate about that prospect, then maybe you don't know enough about that prospect, which goes back into building the relationship, finding out what it is that they need and finding out if you can serve their needs as a humble servant leader in solving problems, right? But gratitude expressed is 10 times more powerful than gratitude felt. Say it, write it down. If you never say anything, then, you know, it's not going to benefit you at all. Make sense? And we're kind of going through these slides fast, believe it or not. So we'll have a little bit of time to talk about a few things if you guys would like. But overall, the message is gratitude turns what you have into more than enough. And when you operate from more than enough, then you start attracting more abundance. Make sense? Right? That's where all of a sudden, the best way that I can explain it to you is that things will pop up out of thin air. And, you know, maybe as an example, like what Dorea was saying, somebody from the past you'll have this connection, and all of a sudden, these things will just happen, right? And more good things will come into your life. So this week, I want to make sure that we practice gratitude. If you're not already doing that, which I believe everybody in here does that because we are all on the same path when it comes to personal development and growth and all that. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't all be hanging out together, right? Right. So here's an assignment. You can do this if you like. Start with a gratitude journal, right? Every morning, write 3 specific things that you're grateful for. We talked about that, the whole gift thing, right? Not generic, but specific. I'm grateful for the customer who referred me yesterday. Beats I'm grateful for customers. Be specific. And that part we could get into if we really wanted to, so that you wire that more into your brain as you're writing it down. Right? Number 2, send 5 thank you messages. This week, send genuine thank you messages to 5 people who impacted your business. Past customers, mentors, team members, even competitors who pushed you to grow. Maybe it's, you know, I don't know how many sales you got or what have you, but even if you didn't, if somebody liked your message, if somebody shared your message, you know, go make sure you thank them. Number 3, reframe one setback. We've talked about framing and reframing before, right? This is also something else that's going to help wire your brain so that you don't look at things as a negative. And like we talked about at the very beginning of this, you see some kind of thing that might be a tragedy in other people's eyes. And instead of flipping out and losing your lid, right, we think, okay, well, how can we overcome this adversity, right? We reframe things around here, just to be clear, so that we're smart and level-headed. So at this point in time, I'd love to hear anybody, if you have any takeaways. Like, what's your biggest takeaway from today? What is, you know, something that you might do differently this week? Or what have you experienced already? Even better. I bet that's even better. Like, I'd love to hear from you guys. What have you noticed in your life to where, okay, I've seen gratitude and then this happened. Ooh, even as I say that, I get goosey. Anybody care to share? Let's open it up.
I think it's important to recognize the people who actually do good things towards you, right? Because especially in our profession, coming back again, it brings me back to that conversation that we had with uh, Mr. Gupta, Anil, because that receiving, that giving, that taken, well, it's all part of that acknowledging gratitude, especially when you receive it. And often enough, we lose sight of that when we don't count our blessings or we don't cherish the people that have been by our side for some time. We lose sight of these precious connection, and it's the same thing I think for for when we're in business. Uh, until recently, I had lost sight of the weight and the power of the word "thank you for your business." Right, thanking somebody for their business. This gratitude is so important because I mean, when every intake determines your tomorrow or your life cycle, well, when somebody takes the time to select you and comes gives you their business, acknowledging that is so important. And it has an impact also on the person. Customer service is part of that, that smile in the face, that
Right.
whatever. But this goes beyond customer service as business, as entrepreneurs. We cherish these relationships because they're our lifeline. So never forget getting to be grateful for the business that you receive is important. And
Well,
keeping in mind to count these blessings is what keeps you in the race, right?
and
Otherwise, you're just in
amen.
adversity.
Amen. I want to kind of touch on that and say, going back to some of the things that we've talked about before in the past, and focusing on the fact that most people when they get into network marketing, they're thinking about it the wrong way. They're thinking, "Oh my God, I got to get another sale. I got to make this money. I got to pay this bill." Right? This is what we talk about in the 5-day boot camp on how you have to reverse that mindset from the very beginning and be like that person that's going to go solve problems. The more you're solving problems online, it's different. I guess the best way to say it is different than doing direct marketing, right? Even though there's that correlation to where you're online marketing, you'll have a touch of direct marketing. If I'm doing direct marketing, I'm mostly there to sell somebody, you know, versus the communication and building of relationship. But every time that anybody does anything with me, I'm super appreciative, and it goes a long way. Right? But just switch the mindset. Don't think, hey, I got to get a sale. Think, how do I solve a problem? You get the sale, and then that's where you thank them for your trust. Thanks for your trust. Thanks for your business, however you want to portray that. Thank you for sharing, Virtual. So,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah,
Please
I
do.
think it's very important. I was wondering, there's a couple of people that I helped a couple years ago get started, and I see like one person in particular is really taking off on what they're doing, and I'm not sure if it's directly impacted from me. I'm not sure. But I do know that after our interaction, she she took one of my courses and my counseling sessions that her business has just taken off. So it's just been really great. Uh, and so this helped me think about it. It's like, you know what? I need
Good.
to
Yay.
reach out to her and thank her, you know, and just have that conversation, thank you so much for being my customer, a couple years ago, and not expecting to have any type of, if this had anything to do with, what
Drea,
she
may
was
I?
going through.
May I?
But what a way to start a conversation,
May I?
about that.
So, Drea, if I may offer a suggestion.
Sure.
So just reach out and message her or whatever and say, hey, I don't know how long it's been that you've talked to her or whatever.
Been a
I would
while.
just reach out if it was like me telling you this. Say, hey, Dore, I just wanted to reach out and say hello or good morning, whatever your salutation is. I've been watching you from the backgrounds, man, and I'm really impressed with what you've done. Congratulations up to this point. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
then it's just think about the tennis match that you might have heard me talk about. Now you've batted the ball into her court and see what she says. Now she comes back and says, "Oh my God, Dorea, I can't believe it. It's because of your training." Now you could just be like, "Now you know." You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting too because and it's interesting as I'm listening how I'm framing things, uh,
I
in
love it.
not being sure because in the past, um, I've done things where and did it so well, people didn't know what I actually did. Like, it's like, well, you didn't really do anything. And then when you go back and you peel back, and it's like, remembering where they were at when I started, they hadn't connected the dots because it seemed so seamlessly. They didn't realize that there was a shift at that moment, and it's really interesting saying that out loud, how I frame that.
I love it.
But this is a great way to start a conversation, just to see. Yeah, I
I
like that.
love it. And that means that we did our job today for sure. And not everybody gets to see what's going on behind the curtains, right? So meanwhile, diligently, you're back there working behind the curtain to make that a smooth transition so that it is seamless for people. So kudos. Appreciate that feedback. Rita, go ahead.
My biggest takeaway is just the reiteration of being different in terms of when I am the person's, for example, legal shield associate. If I am your agent, I am your servicing agent. So if you need something or if your plan is not working well, you get me and I will be the bulldog for you. And I also like the thank you for trusting me
Yeah.
to be your servicing agent. It means a lot. So the way that that's worded, the trusting part, because thank you to me is thank
Gives
you
me
for the
goosebumps
business.
every time you've said it. I don't know about you guys.
And
Seriously.
thank you for your business is to me kind of like a one-off and it's kind of cold. And even though
Exactly.
you're saying thank you, I get it. I do. But if I tell you through the relationship that's been developed that I am your servicing agent and I really appreciate you trusting me,
I love it.
that means a lot.
I love it.
So
Absolutely.
thank you.
I don't know if you remember or not, but I've said thank you for your trust many a time.
Yes, and that's probably why it comes out so easily because I
I
hear it and I'm like,
don't
yep.
know. When you said it, it gave me a chill down my spine both times. I
And
love it.
I wanted to say also too that
Yeah.
when you do things for people, and not because you're trying to do anything, just trying to help, like Dorea's was helping, and I can definitely identify with that because one of my former students, like I spy on my kids, right? So I make comments and stuff, and that relationship is still in place. And one of them told me, she said, I still remember when you took us to see the Ebony Fashion Fair.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I don't even remember that. So that means I had to get her parents' permission to pick her up and take her to this fashion show. And I cannot, I do not remember that at all. So but when she shared it with me, it sounded like something that I would do, but I don't remember half the stuff I did. I just thought it was good at the time. But to hear it was such a wonderful make me cry moment.
Right?
So I'm
Talk about the
definitely,
dopamine rush there.
yeah,
What an
yeah,
indelible moment that you left.
yeah,
I hope
that's it.
I trust I'm saying that right.
Yes. Sounds good to me.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing, my friend. Love you bunches. So remember to end the show here, gratitude isn't about ignoring problems, right? That's not what we want to do. It's about building the mindset to solve them. How do we fix whatever is broken, right? And instead of flipping out or ignoring the problem, because that's where a lot of people run into problems or more issues, shall we say. But when you appreciate what you have, you attract more to appreciate. It's not magic, it's psychology, right? Start today if you're not doing it. Wake up every morning, spring out of bed, and say you're grateful or thankful for whoever your God or whoever you pray to or whoever you worship, right? And start your day off the right way. Go do some yoga, meditate, or some of the other things that we've recommended in the past. If you don't know what we've recommended in the past, well, you should go back and go through the catalog of videos that we've already created and make sure that you leave a like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Next week is going to be week 9, so we're moving into the 3rd month, right? This is the beginning of the end of the 1st quarter. If you're business related and paying attention, what are your numbers? I would invite you to go back and look at your data. How many people did you talk to? How many people did you show your presentation to? Who do you have to follow up with? You got one month left of that 1st quarter, so if you're looking to do specific numbers, pay attention. Next week, week 9, define your freedom number, which is imagine that, directly correlated to what I just kind of said. What does your financial freedom actually look like for you? Is it 500? Is it 1,000? Is it 2,000? Because, I can say without a doubt, with the team project that we're going to be starting in March, if we can show 4 people how to make at least $500 a month, we're talking about, an easy residual of anywhere from 2 to 4 grand, which is kind of neat, right? A little extra cash. It'll be cool. Anyway, join us again next Monday, The Lost Transition, every Monday. We appreciate y'all being here. Practice that gratitude this week. And most of all, let's kick ass, take some names. Toot toot. Love you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you guys. See you
I show
tomorrow.
gratitude towards you.